Hello, my friend. I'd like to tell you about someone I've been working with for a while. Her name's Shelley. She owns a bookkeeping firm, CPA background, but bookkeeping's the work. Very detail oriented, precise, everything's in its right place. She can find an error in a spreadsheet faster than most people can find their keys. And for a long time, she'd wanted to take her dad on a train trip. He's getting older. Her mom had passed. She's been thinking about this for a long time. Not a complicated trip, just her and her dad going somewhere together on a train. But every time it came up, every time it surfaced in her head, her brain showed up with a list. Well, how do I plan it around work? How do I make sure he's comfortable? How do I know if he'll like it? What if something goes wrong? What if it's not what we pictured? The how kept arriving before the want even had a chance to breathe. So the trip, it stayed on the shelf in the someday aisle of the story, where things go when the heart wants them, but the brain won't let them happen. And then one day, after talking through her thinking and her biases, she got off the call and just booked it. Now, yeah, she had to go through a couple websites and things like that, but she booked it. And not because she had all the answers, but because she decided the want was enough to start. She came back from that trip different. Not because of the train, not because of the time spent with her dad, although that was wonderful, but because of what she learned that she could do when she just stopped waiting for the brain to approve what she wanted first. And that's what this lesson is about. How might this look in your life? Something that you want. And then maybe you've wanted it for a while. Maybe it's a business you keep thinking about starting. And you know what it is? You've thought it through enough times that the idea feels worn in, like a path you've walked in your head 100 times, but have never actually taken. Yet every time it surfaces, the brain shows up. How will you fund it? How will you find clients? How will you know when you're ready? How will you manage the risk? Or maybe it's a relationship, someone you want to pursue, or a next step you want to take with someone that you're already with. Listen, the heart's pretty clear. The brain, it wants a guarantee on how it's going to end before it'll even let you begin. Or a place that you want to visit, a place you want to go, something you want to try, a conversation you've been meaning to have. All of it sitting in the someday aisle, waiting, while you walk down the I already know how to aisle. Your heart's been trying to tell your brain something for a long time. Your brain keeps asking for more documentation. Internally, it might sound like this: I'll do it when I know how to make it all work. I just need a little more time to figure it all out. I don't want to start until I know I can finish. Makes sense, right? What if I begin and it falls apart? Listen, the voice isn't lying to you. It's not stupid. It genuinely believes it's protecting you. It's just running a program, and the program is the thinking pattern. It's worked for you in the past. So, what's happening in the T layer, in the thinking layer that we've been talking about? We've talked about the 3 dimensions your brain uses in processing value: your head, your heart, and your hands. The head is the logic, the systems, how things work. Your heart is the meaning. It's your identity. It's what you want. And then hands, it's the results, the practicality of everything. It's what actually gets done. Now, some brains are really highly calibrated on the head dimension. And that's what schooling teaches us after all. And in the right context, bookkeeping, engineering, systems thinking, that's genuinely an asset. Sharp, precise, efficient. Efficiency. The problem isn't being good at how. Problem is when how becomes the gatekeeper of want. The head dimension is running the show. It treats every desire like a project proposal. The heart submits the want. The brain reviews it, and their review criteria is, do I have a complete plan? A project requires a beginning and an end, and with an acceptable risk, or at least a contingency plan. And is there a clear outcome? Most wants can't clear that bar, especially the ones that matter most. Starting a business, you don't have enough data for that. Pursuing that relationship, outcome kind of foggy. Taking your dad on a train trip, too many variables. I'm busy. So the want gets filed under pending. Not rejected, just allegedly deferred. Until the how is figured out, which never quite happens. What does that look like in the TEAR framework? The thought is, I can't want this until I know how to get it or how it works. The emotion, it's a low hum of restlessness, a vague feeling that life is happening somewhere just out of reach. Not unhappy, exactly, just aware that something's missing. And then the action, more research, more planning, more figuring things out, more waiting for the conditions to be right. And then the result, the someday list grows. The wants don't disappear. They just stop getting oxygen. And eventually, they get quieter. So what needs to shift to get out of this? It's not an I need to know how before I want this, but I want this. Hey, brain, what's the first step? Not all the steps, just the first one. Because that's a completely different question. In your brain, which is really excellent at solving problems, will want to answer your question. It just needed a want to ask the right question. Your brain isn't the enemy. It's been given the wrong job. It's been acting as a gatekeeper when it should be working as a navigator. Give it a destination, figure out the route. I believe in your ability to figure shit out. Look at your life. Figured a lot of stuff that you didn't know how to do. If there's something on your someday list that's been there longer than you wanted it to be, your report already shows where the how demand is, where it's coming from in your thinking. The private VQMe call, that's going to be able to map it to something specific. I'll give my friend the links below because it's amazing what happens. After Shelley took that train trip, something shifted in how she ran her business too. She had employees, really good ones, but she was still doing most of the work herself. Not because she didn't trust them on paper, but because her brain kept asking how. How would she know if they did it right? How would she catch something if it went wrong? How could she let go of work that she knew she could do better and faster, all by herself? The how kept showing up. And the what? A business that didn't need her in every corner of it? Time with her family? Freedom to take more trips? More of the life she was actually working towards? Those wants kept getting deferred. When we mapped her VQ pattern together, the head dimension was running the show, which made complete sense for a bookkeeper. Precision, systems, accuracy, that clarity, genuine asset. We're not going to get rid of that. But the heart dimension was getting blocked. Everything she actually wanted was sitting in the pending file, waiting for the brain to approve it. When we looked at her pattern, we thought, of course, the brain is doing that. It's doing exactly what it was built to do. It's just been working the wrong job the whole time. Now, through the process, it wasn't about motivation. It wasn't about working harder or building better systems. It was about seeing the specific pattern in her data, where the how demand was showing up, what it was costing her, and what would happen if she changed the instruction. Once she could see it, things started to move. She let her employees own their work, really own it. She started making decisions from what she wanted, not just what she knew how to control. The business grew and is still growing, not because she got better at the how, but because she finally gave her brain something worth navigating toward. She didn't become a different person. She became a whole person. Head, heart, and hands all working as one. Her head didn't continue to tell her heart to shut up, but her heart was able to tell her head to step up. That's integrity, not a concept. That's life as a whole, complete life. And that the shift Shelley made didn't come from a new system or a better plan. It came from seeing her pattern clearly enough to change the instructions she was giving her computer. That's the call. It's going to be your pattern, your situation, 15 to 20 minutes. Your brain isn't fighting you. It's just running, and it's just been running the same program for a long time. Nobody's given it a different one. Actually, you're the only one who can. And your report already shows where the program lives. And once you see it, it's just a matter of shifting. You can shift what it's being asked to do. What's been on your someday I'll list the longest? You don't have to say what it is, or you could, but drop a comment below and at least how long it's been. And I'll see you in the next lesson.